night on Chronicle. The Boston Globe called her part Indiana Jones, part Emily Dickinson, and her writings have changed the way we look at animals.
They're forever reminding us of the sensuous savor of this world and the immediacy of the beauty of the sweet green earth.
At home with New Hampshire's own Cy Montgomery.
And we all know each other here. It's so wonderful. I mean, part of the reason that I know everybody is my pig would get out and introduce me to everybody around the neighborhood.
Plus, Fritz Weatherby's New Hampshire.
That year, the citizens of New Hampshire thought they were in the Old Testament. I'll tell you the story.
That's next on Chronicle.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tom Griffin.
And I'm Tiffany Eddy. You know, they don't call this the Rockin' Rib Fest for nothing. We are on the grounds of Anheuser-Busch and Merrimack, where kids of all ages, some of whom you can see behind me here, are gathered for great food, great music, and, of course,
great fun. That's right, with all the proceeds benefiting over 30 local nonprofits through Nashville Rotary West's annual giving program.
People come from all over the country to attend this once-a-year party, but tonight we have the story of a true world traveler. Now, she has ventured to the Bay of Bengal to study man-eating tigers and to the Amazon to learn about pink dolphins, two of the many adventures that have led to her critically acclaimed books.
In her latest success, Quest for the Tree Kangaroo, author and conservationist Cy Montgomery travels to the cloud forest of New Guinea.
But the book that has brought her the most attention, that had folks like Oprah buzzing, takes place in perhaps the most unlikeliest of settings for a world traveler, her own hometown. Jennifer Crompton had the pleasure of visiting Cy in Hancock recently, home to the heartwarming story of the good pig.
These hens are pretty lucky. They survived a recent raccoon attack, and they're mothered by the likes of Cy Montgomery.
They're very tame, and they absolutely recognize you. They look at this. She's sunning herself. See, she lost her tail to a raccoon attack.
There's a baby monitor by their pen so that an injured hen recuperating in Cy's house can be comforted by the sounds of the flock. Cy Montgomery is a highly respected author and conservationist who has always cared about animals. As a curious little girl, she thought she'd be a veterinarian. Then, as she puts it, she realized she could provide a different kind of healing by getting other people to care through writing, which she does from her home in Hancock, where she tends to the animals, here and in some of the most remote and mysterious locations on the entire planet. Her passion for them captured in words filtered through a mystical, lyrical lens.
Imagine this amazing rainforest, but make it in a cool environment. Make it draped in moss. Make it covered with orchids. And everywhere, even places that you least expect it, you're seeing animals that look like they were designed by Dr. Seuss in collaboration with, like, Dakin stuffed toys. Amazing animals, like kangaroos who live in the trees.
This latest adventure was led by a scientist who has devoted her life to saving the rarely seen Match's tree kangaroo. Cy's resulting book, Quest for the Tree Kangaroo, tells of their journey into the cloud forest in New Guinea.
Explorers didn't even start cataloging what was there until very recently, and with good reason, because, you know, there's poisonous snakes, and there's malaria, and there's volcanoes, and then there's the cannibals, and so there was a good incentive to stay home. But once you go over there, oh my gosh, the plants and animals are like nowhere else, and in the cloud forest, it really looks like heaven.
Cy shares her passion for saving the natural world through incredible travels and encounters.
I got to work in a pit with 18,000 snakes. That was loads of fun.
There's the snake scientist and the tarantula scientist. She traveled to Southeast Asia to write about the discovery of the golden moon bear, a species previously unknown to science. And she swam in the Amazon to experience the enchanting world of a species of rare pink dolphins.
I found these dolphins led me back in time. They led me into the realm of myth with the people's stories, and they showed me a glimpse of the future and our power in it. And so I was very smart to apprentice myself to a dolphin.
She writes of science and nature, cultures and conservation, and always the connection between humans and animals.
Well, actually, the first book I did was Walking with the Great Apes, and that was a tribute to my heroines growing up, Jane Goodall, Dian Fossey, and Ruta Galdicos, because they were the first people to spend a long period of time, in fact, they have devoted their lives to it, studying our closest relatives, the great apes. For the first book, I went to Rwanda, Zaire, Kenya, and Tanzania, and Borneo. For the tiger book, I went to India and Bangladesh on 4 different expeditions, which was fabulous. This is the largest concentration of tigers on the face of the earth, that are not in captivity. And it is the only place in the world where tigers routinely hunt people and where they will swim out after your boat like a dog chasing a car and get on board and eat you.
Her books about man-eating tigers profile a rare animal and a culture that respects the predator's territory.
The local people who've been dismissed by scientists for many years as, silly, superstitious people, they're extremely wise. And they're also very eloquent. And really all I did was bring that wisdom into an English-speaking audience.
She's a writer, a radio commentator, and speaker. A talk at a high school stuck with the young woman who now helps as her assistant.
She really inspired me, and she was just talking about her travels and her books, and it was just really exciting to learn about someone who is so involved in her work, and it was her life. It was clear that she just loved what she did, and she was so enthusiastic about it, and that really transferred to us.
She's happy. She's a happy girl. She's a happy beast.
Hers is an enthusiasm grounded by home, taking Sally for a walk in the woods in Hancock, or writing alongside her husband, the author Howard Mansfield, who shares a similar passion. He writes about historic preservation and restoration. She about preserving the natural world, its creatures and cultures. All around are mementos of the travels of someone who loves what she does and does what she loves.
Whenever you apprentice yourself to an animal, they're going to show you incredible things.
Of all the animal apprenticeships Cy Montgomery has experienced, the one that seems to have hit home with the broadest spectrum of readers is one that didn't require any travel at all. It's the story of the good, good pig. Her good, good pig, Christopher Hogwood.
He could have run for a public office. He got write-in votes for public office here in town elections.
Up next, a tribute to a large and lovable pet pig, getting the skinny on Christopher Hogwood.
Coming up, look at all them grasshoppers.
Coming up next.
You can't get a pizza delivered here in Hancock, but Chris would have gourmet slops delivered from restaurants where we could barely afford to eat.